영화추천
19세기 말 잉글랜드.
in its entirety is therefore yours, my wife and daughters. are left only £500 a year.
대시 우드경은 세상을 뜨기 직전 첫 부인의 아들 존에게 유산을 상속하며 재혼했던 부인과 세 딸들을 그에게 부탁하죠.
You must help them.
£1,500 then. What do you say to 1,500?
Father had no idea if you're giving them money.
£20 now and then will amply discharge my promise.
하지만 존의 욕심 많은 아내 페니는 하루빨리 그들을 내쫓을 생각뿐입니다.
Marianne, Mama has been weeping since breakfast. Can you play something else?
Margaret, are you there? John and Fanny will be here soon.
They already have a house in London.
Because houses go from father to son, dearest, not from father to daughter.
아버지가 죽자마자 곧장 저택으로 들어온 존과 페니. 다음날 페니의 남동생까지 얼마간 머물기 위해 저택에 방문합니다.
Edward Ferrars.
Magnificent.
Never like the smell of books.
Tis the dust, perhaps. Would you show me the site? I think I may have found.
아버지의 죽음으로 상심이 큰 막내 동생은 홀로 숨어 지냈죠. 문 밖에 있던 에드워드는 문득 방에서 봤던 지도책을 떠올리고
Do you, by any chance, have such a thing as a reliable atlas to check the position of the Nile?
The source of the Nile is in Abyssinia.
마가렛의 흥미를 유발하여 그녀 스스로 나오도록 기지를 발휘하죠. 그 후 마가렛의 친구가 되어주며 그녀를 위로해 줍니다. 섬세하고 따뜻한 그의 성품에 호감을 느끼는 엘리너. 차분한 성격과 정돈된 태도가 닮은 두 사람은 그렇게 좀 더 가까워집니다. 한편 받은 돈이 턱없이 부족하여 집을 구하지 못하던 차에 사촌인 존 미들턴 경이 별장을 제공하겠다는 내용의 편지가 도착합니다. 하지만 부인은 서두르지 않으려 합니다. 엘리너와 에드워드의 관계를 눈치챘기 때문이죠. 당시 여성은 남성의 경제력에 의존해야 했기에 딸들이 좋은 남자를 만나 가게에 보탬이 된다면 바랄 것이 없었죠.
Let us delay. Edward and Eleanor have formed an attachment.
Do you love him?
이성적이고 감정을 통제하는 타입의 엘리너.
I believe my feelings to be stronger than I have declared, but further than that you must not.
He's a dear boy. We're all very fond of him.
Edward is entirely the kind of compassionate person upon whom penniless women can prey. He's simply incapable of doing so.
I understand you perfectly. My cousin, Sir John Middleton, has offered us a small house on his estate. Let's leave as soon as possible.
You will come stay with us, Edward.
I should like that very much.
작별이 아쉬운 두 사람.
I will speak to you.
에드워드가 기니 할 말을 꺼내려는데
Has
Mama is quite adamant you should leave at once.
결국 궁금증만 남기고 떠난 에드워드. 다음 날 대저택에서 물러나 사촌이 있는 데본셔로 이사를 가는 모녀들.
But here is my dear mama-in-law, Mrs. Jenny.
예전에 비해 부족한 환경이지만
Your feet are cold.
씩씩하게 살아가는 세 딸들. 며칠 뒤 마리안을 보고 첫눈에 반한 한 남자 브랜든 대령이 나타납니다.
Meet our beautiful new neighbor. We served in the East Indies together. I assure you there's not a better fellow in the world.
브랜든의 마음을 눈치챈 제닝스 부인은 그들의 가교 역할을 자청하지만
Play as a duet. Let us see you both side by side.
We never to have a moment's...
브랜든에게 관심 없는 마리아는 제닝스 부인이 불편합니다. 에드워드가 마가렛에게 세계 전도를 보낸 것이었죠.
Edward said he would bring it himself.
Alas, business in London does not permit me to accompany it. Although this is likely to hurt me far more than it hurts you. He says he's busy. You must miss him, Eleanor.
We are not engaged, Mama.
감정을 이성으로 다스리는 엘리너. 한편 마가렛과 외출하는 마리안.
Sky, let us chase it! Ah! Marianne! I do not think I can walk.
그때 백마 탄 남자가 나타납니다.
Are you hurt?
Only my ankle.
It is not broken.
감성적이고 열정적인 타입의 마리안. 자신을 구해준 윌러비를 보고 첫눈에 반합니다.
And since you cannot venture out to nature, nature must be brought to you.
Beautiful.
Who's reading Shakespeare's sonnets?
Marianne.
Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove.
Oh no,
It
is an ever-fixed mark.
It's strange you should be reading these, but
마리아는 언니와 달리 사랑에 빠지면 감정을 그대로 드러내죠. 그런 그녀를 지켜볼 수밖에 없는 한 남자.
A picnic. On my estate at Delaford. I will, of course, be including Mr. Willoughby in the party.
The Colonel has invited us to Delaford, Willoughby.
Your sister seems very happy.
Marianne does not approve of hiding her emotions. The sooner she becomes acquainted with the ways of the world, the better.
She is wholly unspoiled.
피크닉에 제닝스 부인과 그녀의 딸, 그리고 사촌 루시도 초대되었죠.
Better acquaintance. I've heard nothing but the highest praise of you.
But Sir John and Mrs. Jennings are too excessive in their compliment.
No, for it was from quite another source I heard you praise.
Frailty, thy name is Brandon.
Why should you dislike him?
Because he has threatened me with rain when I wanted it fine. And I cannot persuade him to buy my brown mare. Will you do me the honour of granting me an interview tomorrow? There's something very particular I should like to ask you.
I shall ask Mamma if I may stay behind from church.
I think he'll kneel down when he asks us.
모두 그가 청혼할 거라 예상했지만
Forgive me, Mrs. Dashwood, and is sending me to London. Lady Allen has exercised the privilege of riches upon a dependent cousin.
기약 없이 당장 런던으로 떠나는 웰러비.
His manner so guilty.
What are you saying, Eleanor?
There was something so underhand in the manner of his leave.
Marianne, out of the weather will not bring him back. Come and play around with us.
There is a particular question I've long wanted to ask you. Are you at all acquainted with your sister-in-law's mother?
With Fanny's mother?
Edward and I have been secretly engaged these 5 years.
웬 청청병력의 말인가요?
I cannot pretend it has not been very hard on us, but we can scarcely meet above twice.
엘리너가 간직하고 있던 것과 같은 에드워드의 손수건.
Dashwood is quite engrossed.
Promise me you'll not tell us so.
그때 제닝스 부인이 자신의 런던 저택에 루시를 비롯 엘리너와 마리안을 초대합니다. 그렇게 윌러비와 에드워드가 있는 런던에 도착한 자매들. 사교 파티가 있는 날 밤, 페니와 존도 도착해 있네요.
May I present my brother-in-law?
에드워드가 아닌 그의 동생이었습니다.
Is Mr. Edward not here?
Oh, he's far too busy for such gatherings and has no special acquaintance here to make his attendance worthwhile.
그렇다면 이 사람들 속에 윌러비는 있을까요?
Willoughby!
How do you do, Miss Marianne?
Have you not received my letters?
Must rejoin my party.
그의 곁에는 세련돼 보이는 여자가 서 있습니다.
Wearing their country fashions, I see.
There you are, my dear. Oh, my goodness.
I'm quite at a loss to discover in what point I could be so unfortunate as to offend you. Sincere, but if I have given rise to a belief of more than I felt or meant to express, I shall reproach myself for not having been more guarded.
He loved me as I loved him.
He is to be married at the end of the month to a Miss Grey with £50,000.
런던에 있었던 브랜든 대령이 마리안의 실연 소식을 듣고 한 걸음에 달려옵니다. 그는 이제야 윌러비의 난잡한 여자 문제와 그로 인해 앨런 비인에게 상속권까지 박탈당해 무일푼이 된 그의 사연을 알려줍니다.
So he abandoned Marianne for Miss Grey and her £50,000.
I have described Mr. Willoughby as the worst of libertines. I cannot deny that his intentions towards Marianne were honourable.
At least you may be certain that he loved you.
But not enough.
There's a Mr. Edward Ferrars to see you, Miss Dashwood.
다음 날 에드워드가 엘리너를 찾아옵니다.
Miss Dashwood. Dashwood, how can I...
You know Miss Steele, of course.
I expect you thought I was at your sister's house.
Edward, last you found us.
You're pale.
Do not think of me. Eleanor as well, you see.
이번에도 할 말을 못하고 자리를 벗어나는 에드워드.
Why did you not urge him to...
Oh, my dear. Mr. Edward is engaged these 5 years to Lucy Steele.
그리고 모친이 파혼을 명령했지만 불응하여 상속권도 박탈당했다는 에드워드.
Lucy told me in the strictest confidence.
How long have you known?
Edward loves you.
Regret. I believe that he will be happy in the knowledge that he did his duty and kept his word.
Where's resignation and acceptance? Where is your heart?
For weeks, Marianne, I've had this pressing on me, without being at liberty to speak of it to a single creature.
엘리너도 뜨거운 감정을 가졌지만 드러내지 않았을 뿐이죠.
I have a proposal to make that should enable him to marry Miss Steele immediately.
Thank you for responding so promptly to my message.
Miss Dashwood, God knows what you must think of.
I have good news. Understanding you wish to join the clergy, he has great pleasure in offering you the parish on his estate at Delaford.
Your friendship has been the most important of my life.
You will always have it.
그렇게 혹독했던 사랑의 종지부를 찍은 두 자매는 이제 집으로 향하는데 중간에 제닝스 부인 딸 부부의 저택에서 쉬어가려 하죠.
I will just take a stroll to the garden near the house.
언덕으로 올라 윌러비의 저택을 내려다보는 마리안.
Love is not love, which alters when its alteration finds all bends with a remover to remove. It is an ever-fixing mark. It looks on tempests and is never shaken. Will be.
Brandon will find her. I think. She's not her.
결국 뜨거운 사랑을 온몸에 가둔 채 전염성 열병에 걸려 생사를 넘나들게 되는 마리안.
An occupation, Miss Dashwood, or I shall run mad.
She would be easier if her mother were here.
당장에 그곳으로 달려가는 브랜든.
I cannot pretend, Miss Dashwood, that your sister's condition is not. You must prepare yourself.
I cannot do without you. Do not leave me alone.
다음 날이 밝고 대견하게 병마와 싸워 이겨낸 마리안.
Mama, she is out of danger.
My Mary.
Brandon.
Certainly he's not so dashing as Willoughby. But he has a far more pleasing countenance.
Shall we continue tomorrow?
No, for I must away.
You will not stay away long.
그에게 점차 마음이 열리는 그녀.
I fetched those beef fillets for you, ma'am. Mr. Ferrers is married, but of course you know that, ma'am. Miss Lucy Steele, as was.
Did Mrs. Ferrers seem well?
Oh, yes, Miss Marianne.
I must the truth done tonight.
Here is Colonel Brandon, Marianne.
I do not think it is the Colonel.
갑작스런 에드워드의 방문.
I hope you have left Mrs. Ferrers well.
Well, then you've not heard the transfer of her affections to my brother.
루시는 무일푼의 에드워드 대신 런던에서 만난 인연으로 상속자인 동생을 선택한 거죠.
Then you are not married.
가슴속에 짓눌렀던 감정들을 토해내는 엘리너.
Eleanor, Lucy, when I was very young, my behavior at Norland was very wrong. That my heart is yours.
He's kneeling down.
그렇게 두 자매는 사랑하는 짝을 만나 결혼을 합니다. 결혼식을 지켜보다 돌아서는 윌러비. 영화는 오만과 편견을 지피라 제인오스틴 작가의 로맨스 소설 센스앤센서빌리티를 원작으로 하고 있습니다. 여성에게 결혼이 곧 생존이었던 19세기 영국. 각기 다른 타입의 두 자매와 남자 등장인물들을 통해 다양한 사랑과 이별의 양상을 엿볼 수 있었습니다. 대만에서 태어난 이안 감독이 영국 시대극을 연출하여 우려가 있었지만 좋은 평을 받고 베를린 영화제 작품상을 수상하였고 엘리너 역할을 했던 엠마톰슨이 각색에 참여하여 아카데미 각색상을 수상하기도 했습니다. 영화 센스앤센서빌리티였습니다.